Warren, it's Susan. Are we meeting today or what? Answer your phone, you idiot. And don't you dare go to that goddamn barbecue. Oh, he better not go to that goddamn barbecue. Those two are a bad match. Like a ferret and a hamster. You ever see a ferret and a hamster go at it? It's a bloodbath.
I'm Emma Godmeyer here at the Great Canadian Theatre Company on behalf of Ottawa Tonight, and with me are Daniel Brooks and Daniel MacGyver here for This Is What Happens Next, part of the Magnetic North Theatre Festival here in Ottawa. How are you gentlemen doing today?
Great. We're doing well, I think.
Speak for yourself.
I'm good if he's
great.
Well, I'm great if he's great.
There.
That's my job.
Now, this is a collaboration of the two of you for the first time in 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, with This Is What Happens Next. What motivated you guys to come back together again and create something new?
Well, a number of different things. He actually didn't want to do these performances anymore.
Solo, yeah. No more solo.
No more solo.
I had said I wasn't going to do solo performances.
And he could tell you why. I won't speak for him.
Well, I decided I wasn't going to do any more solo performance because I felt like, it felt to me like I was spending all my time making up stories and pretending things. And so I thought I'd go out and get a real life. So I did. And I found out that everybody's making up stories and pretending things, they just don't admit it. So anyway, I had a bit of a crisis, and of many a many tentacled sort of crisis. And I called him up and I said, I think I want to do another solo show. And he said that he would be interested, but he wanted me to tell true stories this time. So that's how we started. Now the stories are all based in truth. I wouldn't say that they're all true stories. They have become dramatized, but they certainly are all rooted in true stuff.
And in fact, that's how we started to work on it, was that I started asking him pretty probing questions about his recent history, and he started answering them. And we started to build the show out of those answers and began to fictionalize them. Yeah. But I mean, it's not like we're very involved in one another's lives. It's not like we hadn't talked in 5 years. We're very. I'm godfather's kids, and that's partly, I think, for all of the people that we make theater with. We're all so wrapped up in one another's lives. We're involved with one another more than just professionally, and I think that creates a tone around the work that is best left to be described by the viewer, I guess. But I do think that it makes a difference. There is something about the truth that's inherent in all of the work that we do. And an intimacy, I think.
Intimacy. Actually, the Run Yellow Rabbit company from Calgary and myself, he won't be here, unfortunately, but we're going to have a keynote discussion on truth, which is based on this work and based on the work of the rabbits from Calgary, who are also very wrapped up in one another's lives and work together in a similar way. So we did a show about, I guess in some ways, about what is a story, why do we tell stories, and what's true about a story.
Now, you have also worked together on solo performance pieces before. What makes this one, I mean, you mentioned the truth part, but what else makes this one a little bit different than your previous work?
Da-dum.
Well, I think that this one we are exposing the autobiographical element much more than we have in any other show, teasing the audience with it a bit. So it's much more inside out in terms of its a confessional nature. So and as a result, I think we're aiming for a different feeling.
Well said. They've all been autobiographical, all the solo work, really, but this one is more overtly so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what you wanted for Christmas last year? Fangs. She wanted to have her incisors filed down to fangs. What happened to Cabbage Patch Kids? What happened to Barbie Dream Homes? What happened to Tickle Me Elmo? No, you're not getting fangs for Christmas.
We also, I think, struggled with some of the inclinations that we had in previous shows and didn't want to repeat some things, not just because we didn't want to repeat them, but because we were hungry for a different tone. A different impact. So for instance, the question of whether or not we should have a happy ending or what a happy ending was became very much part of our discussions very early on in the process.
And very much part of what the show is.
And speaking of happy endings, I've heard This Is What Happens Next described as an adult fairy tale. Where did that come into play, and was that sort of a motivation as far as the storyline goes as well?
Well, every story starts with a once upon a time. Every story does, and so we bring that out. There's actually a fairy tale at the center of the story, and I guess the story itself is a kind of a fairy tale. There's a villain, Will. There's a victim of that will. Mm-hmm. There's so I mean I think that upon overview, it is a kind of a fairy tale, but there's actually a fairy tale that is central to the story itself that a 7-year-old has created and tells.
I mean, we're very, we attempt to create what we believe is a very true psychology within the story, but it's not, I would think, what you would call psychological realism. And we permit a kind of fantastical element to enter into the story for various reasons.
A real estate scam in this economic climate. You might as well be stealing wheelchairs for warrants. I can't talk about it anyway. It's in the courts. And what can I do? I can't pull any strings. 25 years that Schmulik Ginsburg family law. What strings can I pull? I can maybe get you a limo service.
You guys performed in Toronto earlier this year. I'm curious to know what's happening next with This Is What Happens Next. After the Magnetic North gig, are there plans to bring this elsewhere?
We are going to be at the Citadel Theatre in Edmonton in their season next year. And
it's fun, and the show is a part of the Magnetic North Festival. And is it our first? Have any of our other shows?
Not us. No, I've been at
I have
Magnetic
as well,
North, but never together.
Never together. Oh.
Sweet. Hearts.
We're just close to a hug.
Schmulik Ginsburg. Nobody calls him Schmulik anyway. Everybody just calls him Sam. He just likes Schmulik because it takes up more room on the marquee downstairs. Warren, answer your phone, you idiot!
This Is What Happens Next will be opening May 26th at the Great Canadian Theatre Company here in Wellington West Village as part of the Magnetic North Theatre Festival. Thank you very much to both of you for your time and great politeness around.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.